Good morning, everyone. I'm Bagadon at Stock Market Caddy, and today is October 3rd at 11 a.m. We have not turned the program on. It's the account is at the exact same place it is or was when we left you yesterday. Don't usually trade on Fridays, but for trading micros, we have a nice weekly profit, and we want to give you another little view. So we're gonna wait for some folks to maybe find us, and when I turn the program on, we'll have a starting place and an ending place. The ending place is going to be, let's see, it's 11 o'clock. We'll probably turn on 11:05, 5 or 10 minutes, and we'll try to go probably no further than maybe 12:15, 12:30, somewhere around there, and or end early, right? We're big fans of that, ending early, saying, "Hey, enough is enough," and so we'll see how we do. Right now, there's always a risk. There's always a risk when you decide to play one more hole or something, or ski one more run, that you finish with a bogey or you take a tumble. So you know, I'd rather not be trading on a Friday, but I want to give you a view, right? So, um, our risk is minimal here, and but if you can have your work done by Friday, that's best. We'll be back in a little bit. Okay, folks, it's getting close to 11, and I'd like to get, if we get a short off. So we're going to go ahead and fire up the program right now, and let's go do that. And I could tone the margin down, but we won't. We'll stay with it at 5. You can adjust the margin levels, right? You don't have to play, and you don't have to play the same on both sides. You could be five contracts long, five. You could do that sort of thing. As you can see, where the market is hovering around its daily pivot area. And so let me get in here and modify this. Bear with me. Put this to five contracts, micro contracts, and let's make sure we got everything else set right, and we do. And we're gonna automate. I agree, and without confirmation. Okay, so we are up and running. The next trade would be a short trade off of the SMC dual fairway. That's the dual fairway strategy, and we'll see how we do. Now we're going to try to manage around it, right? I can't intervene with this. I don't have to blindly just let it, do its thing. So I'm going to try to help me to get the job done and have a profitable session, right? We're definitely going to have a profitable week. We've had a very nice week for trading 5 micros. Very, very nice week. And we hope you have too. So we'll be here. Any questions, let us know. I'll try to comment when the trades pop in. Again, this is the exact same. We didn't do any more trading after we saw you yesterday. We just parked it. And so we're just picking up from where we left off yesterday. And this is going to be fairly active. As you can see, this is quite a few trades here. And you see this red line here, these two red lines, and then the yellow line, and then the green line here. That is a one of our indicators. It's giving us the pivot information, and it's doing so. What's kind of neat about this, it gives us the pivot information from the day before on from candle charts, and it's imposing that data on our advanced bar charts, right? So that's kind of tricky to do, but it's a nice feature. So you can see, this is the pivot, and when we're between the two, when we're in this zone, I'm feeling comfortable going either way, long and or short. Now I'm not going to intervene here, but as a general rule, if I was trading this mechanically, I might try to get long every time she gets over the pivot, and I might try to get short every time she gets under it. As long as she's in between here, if she gets down in here, then I'm going to be more apt to want to take longs. If she gets up in here, I'd be more apt to take shorts. It's just my style of of trading, right? If I was going to be trading the pivots. Meantime, we got Swing Machine doing up here, and right now the market's not doing much of anything, right? So let's go take a quick peek over here. Yeah, so yeah, Jesus, still melting up. Isn't that incredible, huh? Wow, I don't like the fact that the Russell is in there too. Look at gold and silver. Silver has to get to 50, 52. When silver gets over 50, it's gonna go bonkers. So let's slide back, and right now the Nasdaq is lagging. It's lagging. Okay, this is trade number one. There are five micro contracts, and we're short, right? So, it'll be our prerogative as it is your prerogative as to um, how long you want to trade. And, we're going to try to, be available for you for about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes. It is now 11:05. So we'll keep you posted. If I do any intervention at all, I will let you know. Otherwise, the machine's got it. So good morning. Good morning, everybody. I think we're still live. Yes. We just turned on. The account balance is just picking up from exactly where we left you yesterday. And our plan is to run the program for about an hour, maybe hour 15 minutes, maybe probably no more than an hour and a half, with the prerogative that we may turn it off early, right? That is your prerogative. It is our prerogative. We're running 5 micros. I don't usually like to trade on Friday, but I wanted to keep it a little interesting for you. We've had a very, very fine week for trading 5 micros. Very, very fine week. So I don't know how this session will end. I'd like to see it end on a good note, a profitable note. But it's possible we wind up with a bogey, right? So, in general practice, we like to have all of our trading done by Friday. Don't want to, be trying to get it done on, right before the weekend and go into the weekend with, feeling good and then eager to come back and get going again next week. But we shall we shall see. If I do any intervention, I'll let you know. And this is the first trade from today. We just turned it on about 5 or 10 minutes ago, and again, it's trading 5 micros. You can see the pivot information behind the program. Those two little red lines above and two green lines below, and then that yellow dotted line. That okay, that was a little weird. Yeah, boy, that was tight. Okay, she took a profit there. I'm a little surprised at that. Okay, we'll see. A little surprised. So, that's one of the things I always want to validate, with my own eyes that what a program is particularly doing. But it's really, really tight there, so we'll stay with it. Um, didn't look like it was a buy there, so so we'll keep an eye. But she's got parameters built around it, so we shouldn't hurt ourselves here. When we're in this zone, right? We're just oscillating around this pivot area, right? When it's like that, you can go long and go short. When we get up around the resistance, I'm leaning. I'd rather be shorting or fading. When we get down in support, I'd rather be a buyer. But right now, we're just oscillating over back and forth. So we'll see if we can pick up a little bit here. And we're to the good, $45, 5 micros. We're actually, if we close right now, it's $100. You do $100 a day. You have the patience and discipline to do it for 20 days. It's 2 grand, 2 grand a month. That's enough to do a number of things with, right? So we're trading as a business. We're trading the money flow to create cash flow. That's what this is. You got to zone all the noise out. Signal over noise. Have fun. How much margin are we using? At this hour of the day, 5 micros, we're using approximately $1,500 to $1,600 of margin, right? Very, very manageable, right? Very manageable. When a person is starting out, you've got to look at your account size and you've got to size it. And in the beginning, you may be trading a 1 micro, right? You might be trading 2, eventually you grow, and then you're trading 3, then you're trading 4, and then you're trading 5, and you just got to go slow. Go slow. What you don't want to do is come in with a small account, even though they give you the rope to do it. They will give you the rope, and and then I'm going to get a mini on here. Now this account, that would be fine to do here actually, but you don't have to, right? You don't have to. So again, we just started. We've been here for 14 minutes, 15 minutes. If I close this trade, we just made $120. Okay. Now, if you're thinking like, it's just 120, it ain't nothing. I want to make thousands. That's for the Davey Day Trader group. Okay. All right. If you make $100 a day for 20 days, it's 2 grand. You learn to make $200 a day, 20 days, it's 4 grand. Then it's 3 grand. Then it's 10 grand. You will get yourself there. But you won't get yourself there if you're, doing the Davey Day trade. Oh man, I'm gonna make $1,000 a day. You know, it's admirable, right? But person needs to learn. Now, person might even have the firepower, to be making $1,000 a day, but if they don't have that experience, that the challenges, right? And there's two sides of some challenges on this too, by the way. Um, my weakness wasn't being down, right? So when my account went down, I never really had too much of a problem. Like, okay, I got to buckle down and I got to bring the account back. I didn't have a problem with that so much. But one of the problems was psychological more than anything else. When I built the account up, then I wanted to use I really wanted to step on them type thing. Um, but I learned long before Stock Market Coyote came out of the ground that wasn't a good idea, and it isn't. It absolutely is not. So if anybody has it in their head, and there may be people seeing this later, we just have, one or two people here, and that's okay. We're going to be doing our thing each and every day, as boring as it is. And isn't it boring? It is boring. And when you're bored to tears, then you know you're trading well. And I was going to say something, and I forgot where I was going, but that's okay. All right, so I've got work to do, and I'm going to let everybody watch. If you got any questions, let us know. And I may, if I intervene, I will come in, but I'm okay with it right here. Sound okay? All right. Now again, I get it. People are like, oh, it's only like $45. It's only like 100. It's only like 200. I want to make like 5,000. Yeah, well, um, that's all well and good, and we certainly have the firepower to generate those types of trades that we do. It's just that it isn't necessary. Right? And you have to figure it out what is necessary, what isn't necessary, and what it is you want to do. Right? And I have had, I say this in Q School, I had a gentleman, um, and he concerned me a little bit. Really nice guy, really nice guy. And he's, oh, Don, I know you. You like the juice. I know you. You're doing a lot more than what you're showing. You're coming in here. I know. You're coming in with 10 contracts, and I know you. No. No, he doesn't know me. Could I do that? Yeah, I could. Did I do that at one time? Yes, I did. And it's no way to trade. There's just no way to live your life. It just isn't, right? It isn't. You know, I got to go to Lowe's this afternoon to pick up some stuff for projects this weekend. You know what? I'm going to get in the car. I'm going to put my safety belt on. I'm going to, use my signals. I'm going to drive there. I'm going to do the speed limit. I'm going to come home safe, knock on wood. I'm not going to get in the car and drive 100 miles an hour to Lowe's. No, it's just not necessary, right? Don't do it trading either. Learn to quit, learn to stop, right? And you know it, right? Traders know it. People know it, right? You come in the morning, you make your money. Another trader would tell me, Don, I'm having a real problem. I'm like, okay, what's the problem? I don't have any problem in the morning, Don. I'll come in and I'll make $2, $3, $4,000 in the morning, and then in the afternoon I give it all back. Oh, that's not a trading problem. That's a psychological problem. Why don't you stop in the morning? You get up $2, $3,000, or 1,000, 2,000. You get up that, stop, and go find something else to do, and then come back. So if you can't do that, and you can do that, right? You can do that. But if you can't do that, that isn't a trading problem. That's a psychological problem. And I'm not a psychiatrist. I can tell you what it is. I can point it out. I know what that is. You know what it is. And there are other things. There's also revenge trading. And you can look these things up. People have written about it. I don't really hit any of that. But revenge trading is... I got to get it, I got to get it back, and I got to pound them back, it's all that, the gray matter, right? So here we are, we turned on, there was hardly anybody here. Yesterday we turned on, and we did okay yesterday. We had a profit factor of 1.8. I'll let you know what our profit factor is here, but we turned on at about 11:05. It's only 20 minutes. I mean, if we stopped right now, we'd have about $140 in our pocket. Okay, go find something else to do, right? Go, and like I say, maybe you do it for 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe you do it for 6 months. And you just bore yourself to tears. Absolutely bore yourself to tears. You know, and. And when your significant other comes in and says, how much money did we make today? And you say, $150. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, you know. But in 6 months, maybe you got an extra 20 grand in your pocket. All right. So, and you do it diligently. So maybe, we use percentages as far as, margin levels and risking the account. Another way to go might be, I'd have to think this and put it down on paper, but let's say that you have an account that is $5,000. $5,000. If you um, use micros, right? If you use micros and you're doing it during the day, five micros is 1,500. So let's just think about this, right? So it's $1,500. So what is that? 30%, 30% of the account value, right? Okay, so that's kind of okay, right? Now, if you lose on a given trade, and let's just think about this, on a given trade, and you lose $100 on $5,000. Now we go through this in much more detail, but I'm just here on YouTube, just kind of thinking this out, right? But we'll go through it on paper, and happy to go through it with members. But if you lose, you know, $100 on one trade, it's two. That would be 2% of the account value. Little on the high side, a little bit on the high side, right? You'd like to have it about 1.5% on any individual trade, right? But maybe you say, maybe when you start out with your account at 5,000, you say, I'm gonna just trade, two micros. That's what I'm gonna do. And when I get the account to 7,500, well, then maybe I go with 3 micros. When I get the account to 10,000, then I go with 4 micros. When I get the account, and then you go from there. And then maybe you find out that, you know what, I always thought that I had to be trading a mini. Maybe you don't. Maybe you never do. Maybe we have plenty of folks that with the NQ, trade like four to six, 4 to 7, micro contracts every day. A number of people that do that and do just fine for them, for what they want to get done. Um, so you want to think about that. What you don't want to do is get impatient on you get $5,000 in, or you get an account, and you get the account to 7,500, and you're like, okay, all right, you know what? I'm going to get that. I'm going to get the mini on, because they'll give me the margin for it, right? I can get the mini on because the intraday margin is like only 3 grand, and I got 6 grand, now, or I got 7 grand in the account. I'm gonna trade a mini. After you worked to, just diligently grew, drilling and doing what you're gonna do, then you put it on, and you're rapidly down like $500, and you're not ready for that, and you're like, oh shit, I can't take it off now because I can't lose 500, and now you're down a grand. Oh no, I can't do that. Shit. Now and then you puke out $1,500 off of one trade. Now you're pissed. Now you're angry. I got to get it back. God darn it. I wasted all that time. This is all the emotional shit that goes through people. I wasted the time. I got to get it back, and I put that mini on, and I'm gonna get it back, and you don't get it back. You lose another 2 grand. Ah, so it wasn't the trading that was bad. It wasn't. It was the discipline. You know, it's boring, right? This is boring, right? If I wasn't talking with you, just sharing with you. So once again, we could punch out here. Maybe we should, right? So let's go in and let's just do this, right? It's on a Friday. Let me go get it. Bear with me. I'm gonna punch this out. $180. Okay, and she just went in. That's okay. 108. I'm okay. I wasn't going to stop, but we have 180. Now, maybe that's what you would want to do, right? And now we did what we did yesterday. Now we do another 180. Okay, now we go find something else to do. Go clean the pool, rake some leaves, play with the kids, do the other job, do something else. And then come in tomorrow and do it again. Do it again and do it again and do it again. And don't worry about what other people are doing. Don't pay any attention to Davey Tate Trader and his millions and everything else. He'll blow himself up eventually. Trust me, that dude will blow himself up. You know, but probably more ways than one. All right, so I'm going to. I do need to get to work here, um, and and by the way, we do this so that we encourage folks to visit Stock Market Caddy. If you've got any questions, let us know. You want us to punch anything in, so I'll periodically take a look. But I'm going to shut up, let you watch. If I intervene, I will let you know. And the machine is picking it up from here. And what did we do yesterday? I think we did like 497 or something, 488 or something like that. I think we made 4 or 500. And we didn't get to 500, but we made. I think it was like 400. I have my score sheet right in front of me. I don't. Yesterday's gone. Today is here. Tomorrow's not here. We'll stay in the present. But I'm also in the office every Saturday morning too. So I got a very busy day. And Rob, if you're out there, please know I'm working on your files as we speak, and I'll be working on them tomorrow. And my goal is still to have you everything, I hope, by Sunday night. Rob just completed his Q school and is an annual member and eagerly awaiting all the files. So I need to get to work. If there are any other questions, let me know. But again, we punched up at 11 a.m. So let me give you the number of trades that we had and what the profit factor is for right now. So let me go do it. But there is a psychological aspect, and again, I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not, but I do understand the emotions around trading. At this point, I do. I think I got a really, really good grasp of it. One, I had to get through it myself, had my own issues, had to get through it with Susan. She had her issues, and then I have been through it with a lot of other people, and it's never the same. It's always a little bit different. It isn't. There's some similarities, but everyone's very, very. It's very individual, and it's we're people, right? I get it. So let me go get this. But getting to a mechanical state is really critical. And if you're trading options, you got to do it there too. You may not have the same frequency, and you got to be even more patient there. And it's not like they're any easier. So, okay, is that right? We haven't had any losing trades. So we've had just 2 trades, 100% winners, and we're up $180. And so because we don't have any losing trades, we don't have a profit factor. But we actually do, because all you would do is divide the 180 by the cost of the trades. And the cost of the trades is about $6. So what is that? 30? Made $30 for every dollar I expended. You keep doing that. So we're just trying to make you aware. I was talking to a trader this morning and explaining that, risking 1 unit to make 2 units, 3 units, 4 units, 10 units, 20 units. And then, and we have folks that have, big portfolios. And, they get blinded by the size of their portfolios, right? And then say, well, do you know where your stops are? Well, what do you mean? I don't plan on losing. No, nobody plans on losing. But that's how you lose. So they have no stops under it. Are you prepared to lose 10%? Well, maybe I do, but I don't know where to put a stop under each one. Well, are you prepared to lose 20%? Oh, it'll come back, and so, oh, okay. How much are you trying to make? Where are you trying to take your account? Oh, I don't know. I just stay in the market, and it's grown over the last 10 years, so the next 10 years will grow. Oh, okay. They will just go back in history, folks. They will purge everybody. These markets will go through a purge. And what do I mean by that? These folks that have these big portfolios that haven't learned how to trade, haven't learned how to manage risk. They've just seen them grow, and just they get into an assumption. What did I do, Donald? You know something, kids? What a shame. I was only trading two. You little stinker. We made $180 on two micros. I wanted five. Crap. I made a mistake. I'm looking at my screen. So we made $180 just trading two of them. Ay vey. All right, so if we had had five, we would have made it $500, and we definitely would have been done. Um, so what'll happen is though, what will happen, right? I'm not saying when. We will know. We'll see it happening. The market will purge. It'll go down 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80%. There will be a time when that happens. And these folks that have these portfolios, they're not thinking about it now, and they'll be thinking about it then. And so it isn't 5 micros, by the way. That was done by two, just two. You know how much margin is two? $600. That's probably so you can do it, right? You can do it, but you got to be really patient. You got to have the patience of Job, and that's okay. But they will puke it out. They will, and there'll be crocodile tears. They will. Well, and Davy Day Trader could be one of them. All right, so let me do this. I'm going to, let's see, if you don't mind, I'm going to flatten this out. All right, and I'm going to reset the program. I made a mistake. Friday afternoon, so we were at 177. So edit strategy. Let me put in here. I don't know how I did that. Five. I want 5 micros. We hit OK. Automate. I agree, and we're in. Okay. All right. So where's the profit factor now? So we took a little loss, and I'll give you the profit factor for this little session. Where are we? Generate 50.22. That's our profit factor. 50. So we've made $50 for every dollar we expended. 50 units. That works, right? So yes, well, that would have been like if you had a mini. So I don't want to play that game. I mean, you can mentally if you want to, so you know what you're working to it, right? And then as you build up incrementally your margin and you build up your account, there will come a period where in an amount where you'll say, okay, that's enough. I'm real comfortable here, right? And then you stay there, right? Now I'm doing this with you as my for the most part, I like to be around a mini, right? A mini. But we do have people that are trading multiple mini contracts all the time, all the time. But they're in a different place, and they may have a different tolerance level and whatever. I don't have to, and I don't need to, right? So, but everyone's got to find that. Um, there's no rush. I'm going to be doing this, when I'm 80, because I just like doing it. So, make sense? All right. I'm going to shut up, get to work. I'll be here. Any questions, let me know. We now have the 5 micros on. So you can do the math. If I had had 5, we would have been up 177 times 2, um, 2.5, 2.5. So we would have made 500 or 600 bucks in less than 30, 40 minutes. And then, I would have shut it. I would have just shut it off. So, but we'll see if we can finish on a good note. We'll let you watch, probably go to about 12, 12:15, and then it'll be what it'll be, and hopefully it's not down. I don't know. I don't know. But we're gonna be positive for the week, right? All right, we'll be here. Any questions? Let us know. By the way, when you're funding accounts, if you can, right? If you can do this, let's say that you have $20,000, of disposable income that you want to do and you want to fund it. Um, Maybe what you might want to do is fund it with, hey, Tina. Oh, you're very welcome. Maybe you want to fund it with just 5, no more than half. So maybe if you were intending to fund it with 20, don't fund it with more than 10. And maybe only do it with 5. And then learn the craft, learn to trade, and try to work, knowing that you've got more firepower if you need it, right? Um, and work diligently, disciplined, and try to grow that 5 to 10 at that point. And when you get to 10 the first time, maybe what you do is peel off 2,500, peel it off, and put it with the other account, and then take the 7,500 back up to 10. And just you are drilling, drilling, drilling. We have folks that and we do something very very similar. They have they have their trading capital, and then they start their week with X amount of money. They want it to be positive, obviously. At the end of the week, then they transfer the money out, shift it over to another account, the profits, and then start the next week. So they stay there. If they finish, if they okay, and we just got so that's 5. That's 5 long now. Doesn't look like a long to me there, but it is. We're in a really really tight range here. This is really really tight. Okay, so the machine just she just took a loss there. I didn't like the looks of it, but and then she just went short. And there's 5 of them now. So all of a sudden now it's bigger, right? Hey Teddy, what's going on, buddy? Hey, what's going on? I know you're gonna get to that. Um, and so you can. It's not like you're playing games, but what you're doing when you're doing that sort of thing, you're preparing yourself psychologically, right? So, so you want to be able to have like you want to have enough firepower that you can trade and maneuver, but you also want to know in the back of your head, like, look, if I do have a down week, you don't want to, if you do have a down week, and you will have down weeks, you want to be able to, like, okay, it's going to take me another week or two to get back to where I was, to get back to par and get going. However, you kind of hopefully have the luxury too that, that if you had to, refloat your trading account that you have the capacity to do it. What you don't want to be doing is routinely trying to refloat your account because you keep over leveraging it, right? You don't want to have you don't it wouldn't do any good if you have 20 grand, you open your account with 5, you over leverage it down to a grand, and then I'll take another 4 grand, and then you over leverage it now, and then you just keep over leveraging, and the next thing you know, that isn't the idea. You've got to work and prove it out yourself, and that was the construct that I built out for Susan too, because I could have all the confidence in the world, but I'm not trading for Susan. She had to trade for herself, and so we had to set that up that way, even though could have just funded her, just go to town. It's like, no, so there is a psychological component to this, and just learning to use the machine. There definitely is. I mean, and it's just like anything else, like riding a bike or playing golf or anything else, right? And just be careful how you talk to yourself. Again, I'm just saying, right? That golfer that comes up, it's like, every time I play this damn hole, I shank it and it goes in the pond. And there are people that say that right out on the golf course. And I'm like, oh, crap. Then I just turn to my buddy and say, guess where it's going? I'll just point to it. And guess what they do? They shank it and put it in the pond every single time. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So stop that. Stop that. Stop it. You know? I mean, I'm visualizing this thing. I think we can get this account in short order to $500. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not, no, I'm not going to make 5,000 here. Don't, that's not realistic, right? But let's see what we can do. Good to see you, Tina. Hope you had a good week. Okay, the machine did that. I didn't. It took the loss, brought us back down, and let's see if we can punch up. I'd love to see us come off of this pivot, make a run up, get up to that R1, and that that'd be just fine. So let's see. Let's keep an eye on this. Now she is trading 5 micros here, so it's going to be a little bit faster and a little bit larger than what we just were. And maybe maybe you want to be at 2. So and someday we should go the other way. But we'll stay here. Now, I do want to share this with you, right? You can control these programs, right? You don't have to run long and short. You can run just long. You can run just short. Now, because I'm between the R1 and the S1 too, I'm like, you know what? I'll play it either way because I don't know which way this bitch is gonna go. And however, if we get up between the R1 and the R2, we get above the R2, I may stop taking buys. I may just set the program just to take shorts. And if I get down below the S1, S2, I may stop taking any shorts. I'll just take the buys. Or or maybe if I'm down around between the S1 and the S2 or lower, I take 5 micros long and only 2 short. I can do that sort of thing. Or if I'm between the R1 and the R2, I will take 5 micros short and only take 1 or 2 long. So you can make those types of adjustments, right? And if you find yourself doing that routinely, and you're filtering that, and you are an annual member, and like you don't like the hassle of having to do that um, mechanically, I mean, you can let us know, and if it is within our skill set, we can program that, those sorts of things, right? Now, when it comes to that thing, I'll just share this with everybody. Bag of Dawn doesn't. We will do it, and there'll be no cost, but I don't have a deadline on the custom programming. It takes time, and some of these programs can take considerable time. So I don't have a deadline. We'll try to do it. We'll try to get it done, and but if it's something really novel and really like something I want to run, I'm gonna jump to it, and I may work on it for well, I have I'll work on it. The trade-off is you don't have to pay for that anything extra. It's just an annual member, but everybody gets to run it as a beta, and then if it passes muster with everybody else, then it goes in the library and it becomes SMC dual fairway, or becomes whatever the thing is, or SMC dual fairway with such and such a filter, that sort of thing. That makes sense. All right. So this thing is just grinding away here in the middle of the day, right? And I'm a little more comfortable. Um, I'm a little more comfortable thinking that we're going to sell down. So if you don't mind, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to grab this if you don't mind. This is probably the wrong thing to do, right? Probably is. But I'm going to do it. Okay, so I'm just going to grab it, give us a little bit of a cush here. Probably the wrong thing. She's probably going to run up, and make a grand, and I took it off. You do this enough that you're going to feel that sort of thing, happens, and only happens to you, and it's like somebody had to know, but you know, it just does, right? So it's no big deal. So I'm playing a little Katie by the door, right? And but what's nice about this program is I don't have to reset it. I took the profit, and she's gonna, if we go short, she's gonna go. Make sense? All right. Now, I'm describing some of this stuff in the thought process a little bit. We go into great detail, or more detail when you're with me for the few weeks during Q School, and talk about, you know, what you're experiencing and what you're doing. Trust me, when it's just me, or it's just, Susan, I'm not thinking about any of this. I'm not. I'm just executing. I'm not. I don't think about it. In the beginning you do, but yeah. And you could be looking like, well, Don, you could have stayed with swing, and here's the 5 minute going. So that's a little. Maybe I was a little too aggressive there. But I'm also thinking like it's Friday, right? It's noon. I only want to be here for another 15, 20 minutes, if that. So I was playing a little Katie by the door. Now everyone else is playing Katie by the door with their whole portfolios, right? And the markets are at all-time highs. So it means their portfolios are at all-time highs. And see, the banks love this sort of thing because then people will go out and borrow, to buy shit. And they let them in. It's a trap, right? They do it. They do it to the farmers they do it to our businesses all the time, right? And yeah, so see, I came out a little early, but when they pull the plug on this, Katie is a big girl, okay, and a big guy, gender. And when Katie wants out of this market with everybody else, the exits are gonna be like really really tight, you know, and they usually don't let you out. So I definitely came out a little early. Shame on me. Probably shouldn't have been so, right? Look pretty good coming off of it too. Oh well, I'm not going to beat myself up though, right? No big deal. There'll be another. We'll wait. By expanding that, you can see it a little bit better. You can see it a little better. Can tell you now. I came out of that with what, about 50 or 60 bucks, right? 60 bucks. How much is that up now? So let me go and look. Go and look at the account. Tell you. Bear with me. That Title One. Where is that guy? Oh, I'm in the wrong spot. Let's see. That is yeah, she's up 165 bucks. So I left 100 bucks on the table. So yeah, I do like to have this pivot information, um, on the screen, especially with my advanced bar types, because it keeps me grounded in terms of the previous day's action. You can even put the weekly pivot information up if you wanted, and have a view on it. And because if the if the people from yesterday don't see the market advancing, they could be getting concerned, right? And so we can get to see the pivot area, where the selling zone is, where the buying zone is, and so right now, they're thinking, okay, hey, we very well may melt up again here today, and so they're fairly relaxed here. But we'll see, right? They don't think about it too much, but I like to know where they think they are. I definitely came out a little early, but we're positive. So right now it's about 12:04. We're going to be leaving shortly, and but we invite you to visit stockmarketcaddy.com. I'll come on and say goodbye. Maybe we have an order on, maybe we don't, but it'll be what it'll be. I'll let you know what the profit factor is when we finish. Now, to my eye, if the machine shorts it here, it doesn't look so great to my eye. But if the machine does short it, I'll let it go, and I'll keep a very close eye on it. What is it I don't like? Well, we were flirting with this pivot line all morning. I don't like the fact that we came up and we took out this area here. We took this out. So this thing might be just a little pullback, just a little dip, and then we might go again and run up here. We could. Um, and it looks like maybe they're going to do it. The other piece is swing machine is all long, and the VIX is even short. This isn't the Nasdaq VIX; it's the S&P VIX, but that's fine. Um, but that's the sort of thing. If you're trading manually every day, I know how exhausting that can be because you've got to be doing that like on every single trade, and that gets old, right? And I don't do that right here. So I describe it, I see it, you know, it's just, I see it. I see, maybe you see it. But I'm not gonna second, I'll let the machine handle it, and I'll keep it with a casual eye, right? So it's just like kind of driving a car. When you first drive the car, you got your hands on the steering wheel, 10 and 2, you're signaling, and, you're really, you just don't want to get in an accident. I don't want to get in an accident. I don't want to get in an accident, that sort of thing. But after you've driven the car, like for 25 years or whatever, 30 years, you're more relaxed, right? Hopefully, right? Hopefully. And, you see the little kid with the bouncing ball in the driveway, that sort of thing, and you're aware, right? But you're not, your hands aren't locked up, you're not locked up, and you're just paying attention. That's all, and you just drive the car. Um, so we'll see. We're gonna let the machine drive the trade here, or the trading, and we'll intervene when necessary, if necessary. Hopefully not. These this pivot information that you see on the screen here um, can be particularly helpful as well. And do I have it on a radar? Fairway radar. Let's see. I think it's right here. Let me go here. Yeah. So, and here it is with the stocks, right? So we have a fairway radar, and this is the daily on a stock. Um, so let me do this. Let me do it with a blank row. And so let me put the QQQ in here as an example on a daily basis. So the QQQ is trading at 606.91. Here's the daily pivot. Here's the daily pivot is 605.27. The R1, the R2, the R3, S1, S2, S3, right? So you can use this information as well in helping to shape your your option trades too, right? Uh, let's see it on a weekly basis. Where are we on a weekly? You can do this. We're at the R1, right? The weekly pivot is 595, right? Are we going to go to 610? Are we going to go to 624? We could. We could on a weekly basis. I don't think so. I don't think so. Um, I think we're likely. So, you know, this could influence you, would influence me, what I might want to do with an option. What might I want to do? Um, I might want to sell. I might want to sell a call. Um, we're at 606. Maybe I sell a call at 606 and I buy a call at 611, 612, something like that for like 20 days, 21 days. That could be a short dated one. And when the thing pulls back, I'll collect the money. And then you can scroll down and the sort, we got to try to change the sort. I'd like to be able to sort all, but what happens is it sorts the numbers right now. It doesn't sort this. So you got to kind of scroll through. And the same thing here, when you scroll down and you're looking for opportunities. So this is the S&P 500. Let's see if we got anything down here. So there's Meta. Here's Meta at 720. 720. What I might want to do with Meta is maybe sell a put at now I don't know about earnings. We'd have to check earnings, but maybe sell a put at 715 and buy a put at 705. Let's scroll down. What else? See if we got something else in here. There's AMAT. Same thing. There's CLAC. So these would be things that I'd be looking, maybe playing for the bounce and with options. And let's scroll down. Sorry, trying to. I guess that may be as far as I can go. Right? No, it should be able to go lower than that. Maybe it's just the Nasdaq 100 I got in here. Yeah, so she's bottoming out. So that sort of thing. You can put them, and have many radars in your S&P 500. Do we have anything? This is on a weekly basis now too, right? So you got some other stuff up here that's really, really rich. So this is one here, Old Dominion. Oh no, it's not. This is on a daily. I'm sorry. This is back to a daily. I was thinking it was a weekly. Let's put it back to a weekly. Oh, I see what I did. I messed up. I did this to a weekly. I want them all on a weekly. So I'm sorry. Let me do it this way. See it up here, I think. Customize. Nope. All symbols. Weekly. That changes them all. Okay. Sorry. So this is kind of cool. Who is this? This is, let's see, this is in the way. I don't know what this is. DDOG. They're at the R3 on a weekly basis. I'm going to be a seller. So maybe I sell a call at 150 and I buy a call up at 160, something like that for a few weeks. That bitch is probably coming back. Look at this one here. This is Mercado Libre. She got the S3. I want to make sure she's not got earnings, but what might I want to do there? I might want to sell a put and buy a put. Do a put credit spread. So what else we got? We got any other juicy ones here? This is on a weekly basis. Here's one here. Who's this? This is Lam Research at 147. So I might want to sell a 150 call and buy a 155 or a 160, and then just let it soak. Right there, we're playing our options. We like to play the extremes. Here is this is Bib at 160. So she's trading at 160, so she's above her R3. I'm going to be a seller. I'm going to sell a call at 160 and buy a call at 165, 170 for a few weeks. Let the thing come in. and just stay active. Just do this. You know. What else we got? We got any good buys in here? This is who is this? A T-Mobile. T-Mobile she's trading at 228, right? So she's down below her S2, S3. So what might I want to do there? I might want to sell a put at maybe 225, buy a put at 220, and let it soak, play for the bounce, make my money and get out. SMC Fairway Radar. Where is the S&P? Let's put the S&P in here. SPY. On a weekly basis, see, she's at 6. Okay, we just got to trade in 667, right? Yes, she might go to 674. She might go to 687. She could, right? I don't know. I think she's screaming up against it here. So what you might want to do, you might want to, oh, a person, right? I'm not recommending, suggesting. I'm just chatting, right? I'm not a broker. I'm not telling anybody to do anything with their money. So please understand. So I might want to sell a call at. She's trading at 672 now. I might want to sell a call right here at 672 and then turn around and buy a call maybe at at 672 at 680, something like that, for 30 days, and let the thing come back, and then I just collect that money, right? Aggressive traders, if you're thinking really aggressive, I mean, maybe maybe you just buy the put up here, when the R1 or the R2. I mean, she's at 672. Is she going to get to 674, 75? She might, but there's a stronger likelihood she's going to 661. We're going to get 10 to 12 points out of it. Let's go back to our trade. I hate to finish on a bogey. We might, because I got to be wrapping up here soon. But let's see. The machine just put us in on 5, and let's see if we can, finish with a nice shot here at the end of the day. This is going to be the end of the day for us here. So hate to bogey the last hole with you, but it's possible. Like I said, and visually, I'm thinking, yeah, that she took this out, so this could be the A, this the B, the C. So visually, it doesn't look so cool to me. Um, but I don't always want to be second guessing a program. If I put the program on, I might try to manage around it. She's going to get some wrong. I'm going to get some wrong. Um, I just don't want to be doing it all the time, because then why have the program? So we'll see. I hope it gets it right. Okay, once again, we're going to be wrapping up here shortly. We came on at 11 a.m., similar to what we did yesterday. Yesterday, I think we did about 487 or so thereabouts. Profit factor was 18. Um, this could be our last trade, and we made a mistake in the beginning here too. By the way, I only put on 2 micros. I meant to put on 5. Yesterday was 5, and we were discussing margin and margin levels and trading within yourself. Um, and I also made another mistake on the last buy. I Not a mistake, but I intervened, grabbed the 60 $70 just to put us up. I didn't want to bogey the last hole here. The last trade of the day, the last trade of the week. And of course that's the one that runs. And I said that even in advance, probably would. Ran up another couple hundred. Um, if I had put on at 11, the first 2 trades were winners. We were up about 180, but that was 180 with just 2 micros, right? Had I had the 5, well, then we would have been done in 15 minutes because we would have been up over 500, and that would have been just a fine day, for micros. So, but in any case, we'll see if we can, add to this here a little bit. As I was describing to folks, I didn't particularly like it to my eye because we cleared this area, and this looks to me to be just a pullback. Swing machine is long, the VIX is short, but I don't want to overread it. I don't want to overanalyze it. I don't want to, block this. I don't mind intervening to take a profit, but if I got a program on, I don't want to, second guess every entry. I don't want to second guess every stop loss. I just let the machine do its thing, and I'm going to get some right. It's going to hopefully get some right between the two of us. We get the job done and can move on here. So I may be pretty aggressive here if we do drop, um, because even looking at this, if we drop, we're probably going to bounce around down in here. So it's not going to. We'll make hopefully a little bit. I just remind everybody of the incrementalism of all this. 24 trading. You only have 24 trading days in a month. That's it. You don't have 28. You don't have 30. 24. If you trade on Sunday nights and you trade every single day, I don't think you should. I don't. I think at minimum you should take Fridays off. I told everybody in advance I'm going to trade this a little bit because it is Friday and I wanted to keep it a little interesting. So normally I don't. And but so if you trade 20 trading days in a month and you can get yourself in a mental setup so that you're trading proportionately with your account. When you're trading 5 micro contracts during the normal session hours, the amount of margin that you're using is about $1,500 to $1,600. Um, but if your account is only 2,500, that probably be too much. So you want to go incremental, right? But $100 a day at 20 days is 2 grand a month. Take your time. You do 2 3 months. Suddenly your accounts, you know, you've picked up, $5 or $6,000. Then maybe add another micro, right? And you get to where you're picking up, $300 on average on your trading days. You're going to get to 6. You will have trading days. We don't want to have negative outliers, right? This has breaks on it. There's only so much that I can lose, which is it would be an outsized loss, but not an outlier loss. But can I get a positive outlier? Yes. Am I likely to get it today? No. Not because my trading session's coming to an end, the day is coming to an end, the week is coming to an end. It's not likely, the odds are not with us that we're going to get a positive outlier here. Possible, but not likely. When it's at the beginning of the week, though, it is likely that you are going to get a positive outlier if you keep playing this way and keep staying very structured, very mechanical, very algorithmic. You will. Then the question comes in, how are you going to react? Right? And so, I can only describe this. I've seen all kinds of things now from having worked with a lot of different people, All kinds of different emotions come into play. All kinds. Everyone's different, right? And you have to. All we can do is point things out. If you're honest with us, we can point them out to you. It may be a difficult message. Well, there's no crying in baseball. Thank you, Red Sox. Did that suck or what? Boy, that sucked last night. Sucked eggs, man. I mean, they weren't going far. They just didn't have the horses to go far. Yankees, good job on Yankees. Makes me choke to say that, but I hate the Yankees. I literally hate them. I mean, it's absolutely in your blood when you grow up there, right? I mean, I grew up 10 miles north of Boston. When I tell the story, it's true. I went to college out in Western Massachusetts, and I mean, I was like really, really pissed off, man, because I get out there, and it was, well, they were playing. I'm trying to think who they were playing, but they were in the playoffs. They didn't win, of course, the series back then, um, but our campus was split. We had Massachusetts people that were Yankees fans. In fact, I got a brother-in-law who they're from Western Mass. They support the Yankees. I mean, I was like, what is wrong with you? I was like, really? Like, how can you not be a Red Sox fan? So it was split. It was a split campus. um, so we just don't get along. Um, Same thing, Bruins, Rangers. No, no. Yeah. Of course, the Jets suck, but but they got us. So one person was telling me how, and he was trading size, right? And he was like, Don, I don't understand. I'll make, I said this earlier. I sound like a broken record. I'll make two, three, $4,000 in the morning, and then I give it all back in the afternoon. I'm like, huh? Run that by me again? I'll make two, three, $4,000 in the morning, give it all back in the afternoon. Okay, hey, how about you just quit? How about after you make a grand in the morning, you just quit? You're done. Do you have the maturity to do that? Not you guys. I know you guys do, but am I asking? Do you have it? And then you need to do that, not just for a few weeks. I mean, you're gonna have to do that for months, and you'll be in a much better place. What I mean, this is not the Indian casino. This isn't put everything on red or black. This isn't, oh, I got this hand. Oh, this line looks like that. Oh, this one. You know what? I'm going to really, really step on them, Don, now. I'm not going to trade, 5 micros. I'm going to trade a mini now, with a $5,000 in my account. That's not what we're doing, right? And so that's what I'm, just trying to show. Make sense? It does, right? But you've got to, something can make sense, something you could know, but executing, I know, is difficult. I know. Changing behavior, it's difficult. But you're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. And if you want to be here with us, we're going to be here. We're going to be here next year and the year after that, God willing, and we're just going to keep doing our thing. I hope you're with us, because if you don't get over it, then you won't get over it. And you'll have to give your bread to some booker down the street on Main Street, wherever you live. And I got news for you. He isn't going to do this. He's just going to put you. He's going to put 60% of your money in the S&P and 40% in bonds, and give you a bunch of bullshit. Now, I am a little more comfortable, right? So you can see here. Let me bring into view here. See this pivot information here, right? So here they are, right? So this is the daily pivot based on yesterday. Here's the R1, here's the R2. So I'm going to be a little patient with this, because if we could run down just to the pivot, if we slice through the pivot, then we got to get a nice sell off here, and we'll be in good shape. But this is probably going to be my last trade, right? So we've had a very fine week. Um, and and you just got to give yourself a chance to accumulate the money, right? It's just that. I like this little program for YouTube because It's and on the Nasdaq. So you might be seeing this a lot because it's fairly active, right? And we can, without overdoing it. It looks good. Now, like I say, it looks better now, right? It looks better now. It wasn't looking so good to me up there, right? So I got to give kudos to the program because I probably wouldn't have taken it. If I was like, oh, and then I'd be like, oh, I'd be all full of emotion. Like, do I take it? Do I not take it? I take it. Oh, I didn't take, and all that, right? I don't have any of that. If you have that, that sucks, because that's very wearing, very taxing, very frustrating. If I did, don't do that. Got to get out of it. I want you to get out of it. Right? That's what everyone else is doing. That's what Davey Day Trader does when he, talks about Bitcoin, but he's doing it with millions of dollars. Reckless. He doesn't know what he doesn't know. He's a sports handicapper, and that's okay. But you know, he's still running around tasting pizza. I'm not sure what that's all about. So what this thing needs to do now, she's pulled back quite a bit of this run. So I don't think we're going back up here today. Just looking at this now, I'd say no, I don't think so. Now we might, they might shake us out, but I'm thinking the direction now. I think we're saying goodbye to this area maybe for today. So if you see something like this and you're pretty, you got a nice liquid options and stuff, and you get a few days. I mean, yeah, you could, a person could come in and do some things with options too for a few days too with these tools. You might want to slow it down. I mean, you could use some other tools. We have tools. Person was asking me the other day, what size bricks, what size, and this is a custom layout. We have tools to decide that, right? So you may not use these settings for option work. Probably not. That are going to stretch days, right? This is basically for minutes. But could you come in? We've been here, on for an hour and 50 minutes. Could you come in and grab the $50? You could, and you'd have 110. Stop, go do something else. Come in on Monday, do it again. Maybe you make 100, maybe you make 200, maybe you lose 100, maybe you lose 200, but maybe then the next day you make 500. And just drill, practice, just drill, just keep doing it. Stay within yourself. You get your account from 5,000 to 10,000, keep doing it. Get the damn account to 20,000, and maybe you increase by like just one micro. That's all. Maybe slow, if anything, don't speed up, kind of slow down. And understand that this is something that I'm going to do. I'm going to be trading as a business, and I'm just going to do it. This is what I do, right? This is what I do. I'm not interested in getting on Twitter sometimes we will post something, to create awareness, but I don't be getting on Twitter and I made, was that guy Nigerian? They seem like nice guys, bang! I made, 500% on an option. And you can do that with options, and we can do that. But, you know, but again, what are the profit factors? They don't talk about that stuff. They don't. So, bang! I got a 10 bagger, right? All right, so we're gonna let you watch, and let's see if we can wrap up here. We're definitely gonna be done by 1, right? I hope you had a great week, Tina. Good to see you. And any other questions? Let me know. And let's see how this finishes up. I'll come in and say goodbye and answer any passing questions, and then I'll give you the profit factor for our session today. Okay, so I feel a lot better about this because I can see what Swing Machine is doing now. Look at Swing Machine is starting to sell down. The VIX is coming up. Maybe we should slide over. And I just want to see, I don't want to give up on this by any means. Um, let's go look at the intraday view. And, the rest of the market is still hanging in there, shockingly so. But the NASDAQ isn't. Um, a little unusual, isn't it? But it's not, it's probably going to be muted here. So I need to be ready to grab this. And we are, folks. I'm going to disable. I want to thank you for stopping by. You've been with us for an hour and 15 minutes, some of you. Um, Nothing too outrageous. Trading when we started with just two micros, we got to 180, 170 with just two, and then we got our five, but we didn't get much. The market just didn't do much of anything, but that's okay. What is our profit factor? So let's go give you the stats here, and let's generate a report. And so we had 7 trades, 7. Our percent profitable, 57%. Okay, so it didn't feel that effortless. Our profit factor though was 2.07. So we did better than yesterday. Yesterday I think our net was like 487 and our profit factor was 1.8. Today we do 188, but our profit factor was 2. We traded better today, just that the market sucked. Not me, not you. It was just a shitty market. It was stingy, right? I don't want to, complain about the market. It is what it is. We can't. It is what it is. And I'm going to turn off, and we're done for the day. I'll come back and see the market close. We'll probably sell off really, really hard, right? Okay, we'll get it next week, right? And we also got options on too, so we're always participating one shape or another. I want to say thank you for stopping by. If you're getting it done with whatever it is you're doing, keep doing it. If you're not, stop, think, look, listen, visit Stock Market Caddy, give it a thought, and we'll be ready when you are. I hope. Have a great weekend, everybody. Hope you had a great week.